Hi everybody, this is Ellen, and this little, it's not really a tutorial, I guess it is partly, but it's more going to be kind of a how-to on how to close bracelets differently than just using like the C clips, the S clips, or the O clips. They could be fun. I mean, these ones I found were in different colors, so that's kind of cool. But sometimes I think that the finished look of bracelets with these isn't all it could be. So I know a lot of you have seen when I've closed bracelets with the buttons, and I think it just kind of dresses them up a little bit more, makes it more of a finished look. I just think they're cute, and I know a lot of bracelets, people add charms to them along the bracelet somewhere. I want to say too, like these are what usually I see online, people saying, buy my charms, they're $5 for 2 of them or 3 of them, or these are buttons. They're not charms. Don't get fooled by a lot of those people looking to make a quick buck out of the rainbow looming craze that's going on. These are different styles, but like these were from Walmart, I think, and there was probably 10 of them in a package, and it was like $2.50 for these. Some of these are from, like this is from Michael's. These were from Michael's, but I don't think I've ever spent maybe more than $2.50 for quite a few of them in a package. So don't be fooled by that, because I mean they are cute. They could be considered charms because they got the little the shank on the back, which is a little bump here. So people are like, oh, those are charms, and don't get fooled and don't pay more than you need to. But I've seen them add these to bracelets, and I guess when I started originally adding them, I just thought, well, some of these are pretty large, so why can't we just close bracelets with those? And I just thought that it definitely added a little kick. I don't think I got quite the response I thought I would. Some people really liked it. Other people were like, why are you adding buttons? I don't have buttons. Get rid of those. And so a lot of my tutorials now are just I close them with C-clips because it's easier. But quite a few people have also asked me to explain how I add the buttons, and it's really very simple. I've taken a couple different patterns, I guess, for the loom, and this is like kind of the one that you'll see for a lot of bracelets. They start at the point down here, and then they go all the way up to the end and come in at a point. Then you would put an end cap here, or a cap band. I call them end caps. It's just what's stuck in my head. I know everybody else calls them cap bands, and I got chastised for that once, but I think everybody knows what I mean. I'm kind of like defending myself with, some people call soda or pop, so it's kind of the same thing, but you know what the other person means. But I call them end caps. And normally you would just take a band, wrap it twice around the end, and then you'd loom it. When you add a button to this band, I call it a button cap. Very simple. And all it involves is pulling a band through a button. Not like that. Try that again. Of course, this one is big enough that I should be able to shove it through. That crochet hook doesn't have much of a hook on it, so. But I'm just going to shove it through, and now I've turned it into a button cap. So I just fold this over, and then take the open parts and wrap it around. So now when I do my looming, I'm just going to loom up through here, and that will close the bracelet. And at the end, where did I put it? At the end, we are just going to wrap it around, and it will close the bracelet. I'll show you a couple other examples here. You have some of my bracelets come and they are square at the ends if you have even pins. With these, I mean, where do you put the button? I mean, some of mine are 5-pin bars, so you could just put one in the middle. You also can just add button caps to each side. It doesn't have to be, like in this one I'd only need one end cap to loom over, and actually right here, one end cap, and then I could loom up and loom over and it'd be fine. But you can add these, the button caps, anywhere. These are just little small buttons with 2 holes in them. And I will say that when you pick out buttons to put on your bracelets, you have to be aware of how big your, put this aside for a second, how big your holes are, because they need to be fairly large because you want to pull some bands through there. You also have to consider that the rainbow loom hook is not going to fit through these, so you have to find alternate ways to get the rubber bands on the buttons. With the shanked ones, like these are shanked buttons, you can generally push the bands through. They're not too hard, or use a hook that, well, has more of a hook than this one, but or you can use a piece of craft wire that's just folded in half. So you take your band, put it on. Since I'm going to use these, just thread it through like a needle. Pull your band through one side, and then just thread it through the other side. Because you want both the open parts on one side of your button, on the bottom side of your button. With using craft wire, you want to make sure you're not pulling too hard because you can cut into the bands. So you have to kind of be careful with that, or as soon as you get it through a little bit and you're able to, just pull that wire out and just pull the band itself. So that's how we would turn this into a button cap for this one. Or if you don't have craft wire, almost everybody has a bread tie in their house somewhere. You can just remove the paper on these, and then you have a nice little wire inside that you can use for that too. I know you can also thread an actual needle and do the same thing, but it's a little more of a pain and extra steps than just trying to grab a piece of wire, or if you have a hook small enough to go through the holes. With these buttons, it is possible. They do have pretty small holes. You can still get something through there. It just takes a little bit more effort. You definitely wouldn't be able to put probably more than one band through these when they're smaller like this, but that's okay because you probably have a smaller bracelet. Like these ones, I generally will take bands, and you can put them through however you like. But like when I do the ones with 4 holes, take a band, pull it through, and then you can either have the band come up so it's kind of either across, so I can pull this down across from it, maybe. I lost my good hook that had more of a hook on it that was tiny, probably due to my children helping, but so you can cross them like that, and then you put the other one on the other side to cross it, or you can just have them going up and down, or you can pull 2 bands through, or it doesn't have to be just one band all the time. It's really kind of up to you on how you want it. Usually if I can do 2 bands, I will, just because it's sturdier. So if one band happens to break, then there's always a second band to kind of back it up for a while. So that's how you'll get the bands through the button caps. But like I said, if you have like this setup where it's square, just put an end cap where you need one, which is actually now a button cap because I added the button. Grab the open ends and stretch it over that pin, so then it's on there like that. Or try this again. You can really add button caps anywhere you want. So I'll just make another one here. Put this on. So now I have 2 buttons here. I really only need one end cap for this bracelet. or fake bracelet, I guess, but I can add another one. It won't change anything in the design really, so I can add those two there, so then I have 2 points, you know, to keep this a square design. So there's that option. Or, you know, here's just a, well, kind of modified single, but you can just grab a button and you'll pull the band through. I don't know if this hook is too big. Yeah, just a different button. Put the band through. I'm under pressure, so it's going to not work correctly. Just put the band through. So on a single, when you close it, although it appears I put this one on backwards, put that on the end as the end cap, chain it all the way up, and you now have a way to close it. You can also, like I said, you can add these anywhere along the line. So if you want to add a kind of a charm effect to the bracelet, you just get that band through there, and you can add these along the way. So it kind of has a different effect when the bracelet's done, unlike where you, that's not, yikes. Because I know the one way that they tell you to add the charms and things is to actually thread them on to the band as you're laying them on the loom, and I think it just kind of gets in the way. And this way, they're still on there. They're actually a little more secure. I think it makes a cute addition. So I mean, you can really put them anywhere. And I think that, like I said, it adds a nice little touch to a bracelet that you wouldn't normally have with just a C-clip closing it. But I mean, that of course, that's if you kind of like the little flair that they add, because it does add a little bit to the bracelets. If you want the continuous look, then you'd have to, the C-clips kind of work better for squishing stuff together so you can't see the patterns. But there's also other ways. For example, I think it was this one I was going to do it on. Say you've made a bracelet and you want to, after the fact, go, you know, it would have been really cool if I would have added a button to this. It's still possible. It's so much easier if you use a button that has a shank on it to do so. But let's switch hooks here. So to do that, you just want to have something to secure this so you can get at the open end of it. And if you take another hook or your wire, of course this one won't fit through, so wire it is. Just going to take one part of the wire, put it through my button. I'm going to grab a couple of the bands, or maybe let's grab 3 of them. I have 6 on there. So, hold on. Actually, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to get these through here first. Then put it through my button, both ends. I usually do this with a hook, so sorry for the confusion there for a moment. So I've got 3 of the bands from here. There's 6 of them on my part here I'm going to pull. And if I pull those bands through, then I can take and get the center of them. Hold on, I'll get my fingers out of the way here. find the center of it and wrap it around the button. I have a very large button here, so it's going to take me a moment here. Once I wrap it around, that's secure there. Now the second part of doing this is a little bit trickier. I'm going to take my hook out of the first 3 bands that I had there. So I still have 3 bands. This part is a little bit harder because we do need to get them through here, through the button shank that already has bands through it. So it's a little harder, but still possible. I'm going to take my wire again, thread it through my other 3 bands on the hook. And of course this is much easier if you don't have quite as many bands, but this was just the bracelet I grabbed that I thought would look cute with a button. It's my ruffle bracelet, very pretty. So I've got the other 3 bands on, and now I need to get the wires through back of the shank, and I want to pull the bands through. And this is kind of where the tricky part comes in, because I don't want to pull too hard so that I cut the bands. So as soon as I get them up, I'm going to try. Nicer if I had a little longer wire here. Just making sure. Once I get them up, I'm going to get something else through them. Because then I can have more pull and I don't worry about cutting them like with the wire by pulling it. So now that I got those through, give them a good big tug, and now I can get them over the button as well. And like I said, this is a big button, so hopefully I don't snap any bands doing this to show you. So maybe not this big of a button with this many bands. But voila, I now have a button on the end of the bracelet that I did not have before. My bracelet is definitely secure now. So I can take the other end, and this end has end cap on it. It's actually got an end cap and part of a design. But then I can take that, get my fingers in there, and thread that end cap over the button. Yikes. Don't need both fingers. There. I know I struggled with that, but it's not generally as hard as that. But now I've closed it. Bracelet's closed. I've got a cute little button on there. So it's possible to add them after the fact. So kind of keep that in mind. It's not. It's definitely easier, like I said, with the shanked buttons, but not the other ones. So that's an option. Otherwise, that's adding it after the fact. Otherwise, this is my beaded wagon wheel bracelet. I just threaded these cute little ones, clips I found. Most of my stuff I found at Joann's in their jewelry department. But these are great because they're open, and I can just thread them through the open end and then bring it over and thread it through the opposite side, through the end cap usually. So then I have a nice way to close it that way too. So really just check out that jewelry, and I'll close these up a little bit so that nothing slips through, not that much. But check out their jewelry department, or other stores that are similar that have a lot of jewelry notions, then you'll be able to find stuff like these. Otherwise, I found these are kind of decorative bobby pins, which I thought were kind of cute. And I had taken it's actually 1, 2, 3, 5 fishtail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 fishtail, and I just braided them, and then I used that decorative bobby pin to close it. So it's kind of cute. Although I don't like how I connected these right here, so I have to fix that before I wear it. But there's that option. These were a little bit more pricier. I think there were only like 2 or 3 of them for $3, $4, $5, something like that. But they were kind of cute, so gave those a try. Otherwise, there are the different little split key ring type things. There's just the simple ones that are round. These ones, I guess they remind me of fish, but those are totally easy. They're open. You can just thread an open end of something and the cap band over it. So those are easy, and they come in different sizes and looks. So those are good for closing. You can also use, these are for closing necklaces. So these screw together, but they're pretty easy to pull apart the little opening right here, and then you just slide the band in and close it back up. You can use little, they're round rings, jump rings, or split rings, to put through here and then latch onto here, but I just figured I'd put them right onto the bracelet, save some time. There's those. There's also these that they're necklace clasps, I guess, but this is a normal necklace clasp with the little ring on the side. And these ones I found don't have the ring, so they work out pretty well. You just open it, put both ends of the bracelet in there and close it up, so they're kind of cute for closing a bracelet. I also found some of my favorite ones here. They are hook and eyes, and this is what they look like in the package here. Extra large hook and eyes. They come in, or coat hook and eyes. These ones are a little smaller, but I found them. They come in like black, silver, and bronze, but not a big fan of bronze, so I have them in black and silver. They can be added in after the bracelet is completed, and you can move the bands around so that you can get rid of the C-clip as well. But these close really cute on a bracelet. I'll show you on this one how you can add them. Just take the open end of your bracelet. This will go hopefully smoother than the other one. The open end of your bracelet and get it wide open. Then you just want to hook it through and then bring the bands down into the opening part right there. So it just kind of wraps around it. So that's one side, and then I actually would have wanted that on the other way. I'll fix that later, or now. You have to be careful when you put these on like that, because this is the outside of the bracelet to me, and I put this on backwards. So I'll fix it. So I'll just poke it up from the other side. But there, now it's slid in. And you can kind of fold this around to make sure you get... This side is usually, it's either straight or it's bent a little bit. So I mean, it's not quite as crucial to get the end in one way or the other, like the other side is with the hook part. But just get this on, slide the bands through the openings, and now you have a pretty cute closure. And I could even throw in a couple of these side bands to kind of get rid of any gap that I don't like. So that's that one. And I'll show you too, if you do a fishtail bracelet, like on the Loom, I'll just take some of these off here. fishtail bracelet on the Loom. You can add the buttons to those. That's what I was originally adding buttons to. But super easy. Take your button, put your band through it, and then you can just put it straight on your Loom like this, because when you do the fishtail you have that cross band on the bottom, but if you put the button on here you don't have to worry about that at all, because it just crosses it for you basically and holds it close, so then you can just loom it out like normal. So then this will be attached on your fishtail. So you make your whole bracelet, and then you have this opening. You have your opening here, and then you'll have the button on the other end. And then this is how, when you have all the, basically anything that you want to put the button on, you just find the open end, stretch it open, put it over the button, and then that will close the bracelet and you'll have the button on there. So you could actually make like rings out of your buttons pretty easily too. Find my center here. Not for my fingers, but for little fingers. So little buttons or little rings out with the button tops. So I mean, tons of ways to close stuff, and you don't have to just use the C-clips. So hopefully this kind of cleared up some of the questions people had with the buttons and how to do them. Kind of went through a lot of it a little fast just because I wanted to show you the different designs and ways to close them, but I think it just adds an extra touch, makes it more personalized to you, and I hope you'll give it a try on some of your bracelets. Just remember, anywhere that you can put an end cap, you can add a button. That's pretty much all there is to it. So like I said, I hope this helped, and if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try and clear those up for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll have some other tutorials or how-tos or something coming up soon. Thanks.